Good afternoon. My name is Tina Glandian. I'm an attorney from the United States, and I'm representing Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate alongside their Romanian legal defense team. We were in court this morning where the defense team made extensive legal arguments pointing out the lack of evidence against the Tate brothers. And then Andrew and Tristan took turns each addressing the court, and they were both very forthcoming, as they have been throughout this entire investigation, and they asked the court for their freedom based on the lack of evidence against them and the lack of any criminal history that neither of them has. There were also additional factors mentioned, one of which is the fact that Tristan has a new 3-week-old baby who he has never met because, I was going to say, he's been in custody, the brothers have been in custody longer than his baby has even been alive. We are now awaiting a decision by the court, and we are hopeful that they will do the right thing and let the Tate brothers out of custody. It's no secret that the Tate brothers are controversial public personas, but this is not about their public persona and whether you agree with their viewpoints or not. This is about the violation of international human rights and the due process of law. So far, the system has failed. The Tate brothers, who are both U.S. citizens, have been in jail for over 30 days now without bail and without any charges being filed against them. This investigation started in April of last year, and the fact that today is February 1st and no charges have been filed in the 10-month period should speak volumes as to the state of the evidence. The continued detention of the Tate brothers under these circumstances is a violation of international human rights law and of the EU guidelines, and Romania obviously is a member of the EU. So despite what anyone's viewpoint might be as to the Tate brothers, and if they agree or don't agree, everybody should be concerned about this global issue. My firm has joined the Romanian legal team because we want to ensure that our citizens are protected when they're abroad, and we will continue to fight to get the Tate brothers out of custody and home where they belong. And now I can take some questions. Please.
Hello, hi, Lucy Williams from the ECUs. Just a couple of questions for you. Could you just explain a bit more about the violation of international human rights law, how you see the case? And also, Andrew Tate has said himself that he has multiple passports, and I just wanted to clarify how many different nationalities of passport he actually has.
So, to answer your question, there are due process rights, especially for pretrial detention. In this case, there aren't charges yet, so it's considered a preventative detention, and so you're supposed to have the least restrictive alternatives imposed. And there's no doubt that incarcerating and jailing someone with no bail is the harshest sanction you could impose. And the circumstances here don't warrant it, where there's no charges, they have no prior criminal history, and the government is always in a position to take away passports and to impose any conditions, whether it's house arrest or other forms of supervision, to make sure the person doesn't flee. Again, I don't believe they're a flight risk. They've known since April that there was an investigation. If they intended to flee, they've had 10 months. They could have left Romania. They have not. They have ties here to the country. As I gave one example, Tristan has a newborn baby who's Romanian, who's here. And so there's absolutely no indication that they're a flight risk.
And can you clarify about the passports as well? How many different passports?
I actually am not in a position to answer that question right now.
Given the serious allegations against the Tates, as well as evidence which the police say seized at the villas, including weapons such as guns, knives and stacks of cash, how safe is it for these men to be released? And secondly, can you just clarify the information given to you by the judge as to why so far they haven't been released?
To answer the first part of your question, of course, once even charges are filed, they're presumed innocent. In this case, there's no charges that have even been filed. So to talk about the seriousness of the allegations, of course, they're very serious crimes. Nobody disputes that, but there is insufficient evidence that they've committed these crimes because they haven't even been charged, and the police have had ample time. They've been investigating since April. They've basically had these men under surveillance this entire period, and they haven't charged them with a single crime. So they've been in jail now for over 30 days without so much as a single criminal charge against them.
And in terms of why the judge has explained so far why they haven't been released, what evidence have you told that?
We feel that there's outside pressures and that this is not based on the actual evidence because, again, the evidence is very weak, and if there was any evidence, we believe they would have been charged by now.